Yeah, that's absurd. I can't get my head around that. That's yeah, you youngsters.
That's impressive.
I'm old now, so I can say it. Like, look after yourself. You know, just make sure you move about every hour if you've been gaming. Like, just go have a little walk for a couple of minutes at least, and drink your water while you're playing, and some light as well. It will help in the long run for sure.
Go touch grass.
Yeah,
all the good things.
Yeah, I was about to go through my proper old man talk where it's like, all right, make sure you've got good quality shoes, a good quality bed, and good quality chair, all right? Those are the three things you need in life.
Yeah, I would take it a step further and say if you're a professional pro player, get a good quality chair, but also get a good quality desk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mainly go with the idea of like anything of yourself that touches the floor, just go ham. Alrighty, Berlingrad, first map of choice. No early game shenanigans going on here. As in no cannon rush or what have you. I know Hellraiser was a fan of that kind of stuff in the past. Haven't seen too much of it from him recently. But Elazer's a beast, man. Like, this is a player that he has not done well against in the past. And Elazer's a Zerg that brings the heat to you. He's not one that normally you can wait around and kind of take it to him, which is definitely a different tempo of Zerg.
I think that's actually something that makes it really hard for players to prepare for against Elazer, which is, I think a lot of the time when Protoss players say, oh, I'm going to face, a Rainer or like a Serral or something, let me try and come up with a really cheeky all-in and see if I can get lucky or something like that. But with Elazer, it's kind of tough because he sort of beats you to the punch a lot of the time. And you just have to be ready for that, as well as also being ready on the potential macro side of things. So I think there's a very good reason why Hellraiser has only ever won one series versus Elazer in their competitive history out of like 16. And there's a reason why it was also way back in 2018 when I don't even think Elazer was necessarily hitting his final form of a professional StarCraft player.
What a funny spot for Elazer to just have his Overlord. Like, very often when you're scatting with your Overlord, it's kind of like sat above something. Or, just, but that's so brazenly just sat at the front being like, yeah, okay, I'm going to scout out now. Gets to see exactly when the second gate goes up. And I dare say Elazer's smart enough to know what that means. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd still be like, oh my God, it's Protoss. They have so many things available to them. But yeah, he starts moving that Overlord back, gets away with it, and apparently gets the information that he needed as well. No Zerglings on the map doing the patrol thing to see what comes out, but that Zergling, look at it. It literally got there and probably saw that Oracle just in time. Just really cool.
Yep. Spore Crawlers are already actually finishing up back at home for Elazer, so he's fully prepared for this. He's got 2 queens over at the third base. Perfect usage of the drones to make a couple of buildings and evade losing anything over there. I mean, actually just a perfect defense so far. And I think the Oracle, it did activate the Pulsar Beam, so it is a little bit lower in energy. There is a cost for even attempting to dive in with the Oracle.
Man, Hellraiser's face really flinched when he didn't get a kill.
How can you tell?
That's kind of... Yeah, I can imagine it flinching, okay? Because that was really nice reactions by Elazer. It's and he's actually making quite a lot of lings here. There is a third going down. Oh, that's a nice retarget as well on that Spore Crawler onto the slightly unhealthy... Oh, is he going to be able to get the Oracle? He gets it. Yep. Lovely play. Another flinch from a Hellraiser there.
I mean, it makes sense. Only the Devil Terran himself could see into the depths of darkness that is Hellraiser's bedroom right now. So I'm not surprised that you can see into it, Ben. This is going to be a very dark time here for Hellraiser, unless he can actually save this third base. I don't think he will. This is just far too many Zerglings, even with the Zealots getting warped in. Oh, no way. Oh, the Oracle. The Oracle might change this.
It might change it, but will it? I mean, it's going to be so damn close. He's dancing away. He doesn't get it. Okay, Elazer did smile at that happening, actually. So that's definitely something in Hellraiser's favor. You don't often see that, but man, that was damn close.
You know, Ben, there's not many times I think you are justified as a Protoss player to shield battery overcharge when you're not actually being attacked. But this might be one of those times. As soon as that shield battery finishes up, look at the right click from the Zerglings. Elazer's trying to right click it down, but the shield battery's going to finish up in a moment. And I think that's when you just shield battery overcharge. I think you save it. Does he save it in time? Oh!
Oh my God, that is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
shield battery overcharge. Just shield battery overcharge. It's worth it in my opinion.
We'll see. We'll see. It's
Okay.
right now, that is still a target that his opponent is not happy about staying alive. And this time,
Yeah.
Elazer was not smiling. He was absolutely, oh my goodness, that is so many wrong things happening, which, yeah, you can't account for.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that was quite a few Zerglings that effectively just sacrificed themselves. As you can see, units lost. Only a single Oracle's gone down, but 33 Lings killed in exchange. Now we end up seeing Hellraiser doing a very oddly kind of shaped attack over here. We'll see what damage it can get done. The Adepts are most certainly going to end up falling. The Stalkers have blinked, so they should be able to stay alive. And with the Warp Prism joining the fray, 9 Warp Gates finished up. Ben, this is a scary looking attack, and I just don't know that Elazer has the units needed to defend this.
I don't think he does. I mean, he's got quite a few units being made, and that is a very aggressive blink by Hellraiser. That means he's guaranteed to lose quite a few Stalkers, which actually is a little bit supply blocked. That kind of comes in handy. No, he doesn't lose them. Nice micro by Hellraiser.
Yeah, doesn't quite unsupply block himself by losing any Stalkers there. Good blink micro so far. Not actually taking hits to the Corrosive Biles either. Target firing down, the morphing in Ravager eggs. Overall, man, Hellraiser has been playing extremely well on the micro front.
Yeah, he's playing really damn well. The thing is, his supply is staying about the same, whereas Elazer's going up. Elazer's doing such a good job of managing this, actually. Like, this is very hard to do, and I thought he was dead, but he's actually coming back into this, surprisingly. He's doing so good, man.
I think it's been really impressive that Elazer has, for the most part, not been losing too many of the Ravagers. I know he's had some Roaches that were trying to morph into Ravagers getting picked off, but it's just a non-stop stream in this flood of 5 to 10 Lings at a time that are all absorbing most of the damage from the Stalkers. And that kind of means that the Roaches and Ravagers are just growing in number. The Queens are all staying alive, and even a couple of Transfuses being thrown out here and there. Elazer, I am unbelievably impressed with how well he's been able to just make the most of this big concave advantage at that little choke point.
And look, Elazer's even found the time to go do a counterattack with Lings, forcing Warpins at home, meaning less Stalkers on the offensive. Well played, Elazer, man. Like, I can't believe he's doing this, what he's doing here, and this was after losing, 40 Lings or something trying to kill a Nexus. Just, if this strategy from Hellraiser doesn't work after that kind of opening, it feels like it will never work against Elazer. Oh, he's going
There's the aggressive blink forward. Hellraiser just going to go for it. He feels like it's now or never. It's only going to get worse from here. But blink was the main reason why he was even able to take those fights earlier on. And you end up seeing he loses quite a few Stalkers in the end. Ends up being able to pull back with some of them. But I feel like just too much has been done now, Ben.
Oh, wow. And kind of bad to worse for Hellraiser as well. That stasis trap that he had that was hopefully going to, come online. It just gets 1 Ling only.
Yeah, not what he was looking for with that. He was really looking to try and find some kind of comeback mechanic with that. More Ling's going to head across the map. The Oracle was pulled all the way back home. Oh, God, Elazer. That's actually brutal. Just target fires down the shield battery. So now even future Ling run-bys are going to be even more annoying. The Oracle's actually going to run out of energy, too. So now Hellraiser has to warp in back at home, or he has to make the decision to just lose all of his probes in the third.
Hellraiser is trading better, though, and he has been probing up behind this, so as much credit as I've been giving Elazer for holding this, Hellraiser is doing a good job of actually trading. These Zerglings finally getting some damage done on that third base now, and yeah, the Ravager Biles are sort of connecting, but those Stalkers still standing strong.
Ben, I'm really curious, do you feel like maybe Hellraiser should be attacking from a different angle at some point? Because this concave that Elazer's had going on has helped him so much. I almost wonder if it would have been better to try just doing a few rotations here and there. I mean, the fourth base is there.
You can't look at the creep spread. He's kind of carved a knife. It's like a hot knife through butter. This is the only place where the creep spread isn't, meaning this is the only place that you can really fight. And now Elazer's kind of fighting into him. He's gone forward and a big juicy blink on top of the army again. And the supplies have stayed so close. 150 for Elazer, 120 for Hellraiser. A few more run-bys getting in for Miko, though.
Elazer firing back with a few little bits of damage that he can find with some of these Roaches. every single time Elazer does this chase off of creep, though, he ends up losing quite a few units, and I feel like that usually ends up being those equalizing moments where suddenly seems like Hellraiser's kind of back in it for a bit. But man, this has actually just been like a 6-minute push now, Ben. This has just been 6 minutes of continuous fighting at this location right here. This is a battlefield at this exact moment, and this might actually be a deciding moment. The big blink forward is going to be able to snipe off all the queens on the right-hand side, the roaches and ravagers all on the left, but the lynx getting a ton of worker damage done, and Elazer is able to force his army back ever so slightly.
Anytime probes are killed in this game, drones are killed as well. Like, they're so close. Elazer's so close, and wow, he does it. GG. That was 10 minutes of non-stop action. Like, that was exhausting just watching, man. Holy crap.
Elazer with a massive smile on his face as he rubs his eyes as though he just finished watching the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy back to back, and is like, what year is it? I feel like that game must have taken at least easily a couple of years off of his life. And, you know, Hellraiser still in pitch black, but I can only imagine that he too is absolutely exhausted right now. He's probably power drinking some monster energy to gear himself up for game number 2.
That was a really good game, man. Like, we also have to remember how that game started with how many things went wrong for Elazer. Not killing the third, not just once, but twice, where it was just like, oh my God, either the Nexus surviving with like, I don't know, 10 health or something, and then the shield battery just coming online and healing it the second time. Hellraiser, that's the kind of game that really sucks, because so many things went in your favor to then not win, and it's like, oh my goodness, I wouldn't look forward to be Hellraiser right now.
Yeah, it is definitely a tough spot, I think, for Hellraiser now, because that was really, really just this attack that felt like it was so close to working and didn't work out. And StarCraft is just one of those funny things where sometimes it's better to just kind of like be let down quickly and just let it get over with and then move into game number 2, versus basically being strung along with this little string of hope for 7-8 minutes and then having it suddenly just get shredded right in front of your face. You're like, actually, in fact, no, you can't have this game. And then it's like, okay, well, I used all of my energy and motivation for that first game. What have I got left for game number 2? Let's try and muster it up.
It was actually really cool. There was one thing that Hellraiser did that was really smart, actually, because a lot of these blinks seemed crazy, but he kind of waited for all the bios to be used, then blinked. So it was actually quite well done by him. But yeah, the fact that Elazer got himself out of that pickle, I'm just very impressed. Looking forward to see what both of them bring to the table here. I dare say that's going to be the last time in a while that Elazer's like, you know what? Can I get the Nexus? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. And he's like, no, not again. Scarred for life.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of those moments that I think it's so easy to also look back on and be like, did I over-micro my Zerg? Did any of these little things make the difference? It was 28 hit points left over. But I'm sure that both these players are probably eye on the prize for game number 2 now, trying to just focus in and think about how this man could potentially close out this series with one more victory up here in the top right-hand side from Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And spawning over in the bottom right, or bottom left. I just can't see anything. It is Hellraiser.
It's okay, Ben. You've been doing your long day of StarCraft and everything. You've been getting some of the longer series and stuff. Even that last game, while it was not a crazy long game, it felt like a long game.
I saw him.
I don't believe you. No, it's only a legend, a myth.
There was definitely a forehead. I definitely saw it. That was amazing. All right. So he's still there. Okay.
A sign of things to come, Ben. You saw his forehead. You're about to see a big brain play coming out of him now.
I would look like Hellraiser back in the day. I do remember him coming out with some of the more shameless plays for quite some time on ladder. He was also the Protoss that would Void Ray all in you into Tempest immediately with cannons and stuff. And it was like, oh, why don't more people do this? And then I saw him take like maps off Clem and stuff in Hero Marine. And I was like, wow, what an obnoxious style. But He's just opting for.
Did that style ever catch on, Ben? Did it ever see any some larger success? Did people decide to go for that later on after Hellraiser started doing it?
Thankfully, it got nerfed to oblivion. So thank you. But yeah, so far very orthodox opening by him so far, and honestly, he can't get through the group. This is a best of 3 for $200 for him, and also it's a good place to test what you know, because Zergs don't come a lot better than Elazer. They really don't.
It is difficult to find too many Zergs on the planet that are at the caliber level of Elazer, much less better than him. But we'll get to see what he's up to this game, because I think something we talked about a little bit last game is Elazer is oftentimes the one that likes to put a little bit of control of the flow of the game into his own hands, rather than just being what a lot of other Zerg players like to be, which is the more passive, reactive one. So I feel like that last game, yes, there was the Zergling snipe attempt on the third base, but after that, it was kind of just Hellraiser's all-inning me, defend Hellraiser's all-in, and do like little bits of counter harassment when I can. I really want to know, is Elazer going to try and do something a little bit more pace-setting this game?
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely could do. Very often, like, it's the Zerg reacting to whatever the Protoss does initially. And let's see. Oh, Phoenix is the unit of choice here. Already a bit of a mix-up by him. I mean, you do obviously get Zergs that, like Bly and stuff, that even if you're a Protoss, you have to react to them, which is kind of weird. But yeah, already Phoenix are the unit of choice from that Stargate. And everything else, Hellraiser's just kind of showing what he did in the previous game. And again, oh, wait, he cancelled. Okay, just one Phoenix into Oracle. For a second there, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it is definitely different, though. A lot of Protoss players typically would just still go for the Void Ray. Even after the nerfs and stuff, we see a lot of Protoss players say, well, the Void Ray is still just... We learned it's pretty good at both picking off all these Overlords like a single Phoenix would, but also just defending against any kind of weird stuff that could come your way, being that consistent source of damage that a Phoenix wouldn't necessarily be. So my kind of question, Ben, is do we see more Phoenix coming on out?
That second Stargate, I can't see it being anything else. Like, unless he does something proper cheeky. Okay, it's going to be Phoenix. I mean, if you go for that second Stargate and you had a Fleet Beacon at the same time, then it could have been like, oh, okay, maybe he's going for some carrier play, but this is absolutely one of those, I'm going to try and catch you off guard. I'm going to try and save up quite a bunch of Phoenix, and I'm going to try and kill every Overlord and drone you've ever loved. But I am curious as to what Elazer does from here on out, because he doesn't really have any way of scouting this, honestly.
Yeah, I think just in terms of metagame play too, Ben, it's kind of what we were talking about before, where I think it is less common for Protoss players to just go for the Phoenix into Oracle now versus the Void Ray. So I really do wonder if Elazer thinks, oh, you're just kind of mixing it up and going for a single Phoenix, okay? Or if this is a little bit of a, that's a little strange. I wonder if I should try and investigate a little further and see if something's up with this kind of place.
Yeah, like there've been so many different variants of Protoss openings with the Stargate. For example, I remember when it used to be like one Phoenix to lift up the Queen, and then you send in the Oracle kind of thing. Yeah. Like that was a thing for a while. Then it was like, all right, we're going to do it 2 Phoenixes now for 2 Queens, and then things like that. But Elazer, I think he did just get the Scout here on these Phoenixes. So that's actually a big deal. And if he didn't, oh my goodness. Okay, he obviously sees it now. It's come into the fray.
We don't have any additional Spore Crawlers being thrown down, interestingly enough. There are 9 Queens out, so that is going to be the primary defense over here. A couple Spore Crawlers are now being thrown down at all the various bases, but that Phoenix count is large enough that they should still be able to find a couple of openings for some drones here and there. And it is really just going to be a situation where you need to get the damage done. This is enough Phoenix that it's not about trying to get little bits and pieces of damage done every so often, like a 5 Phoenix kind of situation. It's, I am going to do damage to you. And if I don't, I'm probably going to die a little later on in the game.
I do like the fact that he kind of morphed these into cocoons here. I think it gives them a little bit of extra armor or something like that. So they do survive. So nice little play by Elazer, and does get to save one of them. Follow-up for Hellraiser. He's getting +1 air weapons. Roddy would be loving him right now. We have Charge on the way, +1 on the way as well. Templar Archives. It's probably going to be a massive amount of Zealot and Archon behind this.
Yep, this is going to be a very scary looking attack that I think Hellraiser's gearing up for. And, well, with Elazer going for Pathogen Glands and a Fast Hive, he is going to be having this nice little window of opportunity where all of the gateways are still finishing up, Charge is still finishing up, +1 weapons is still finishing up, like the Archons are still going to be morphing. Elazer has like another minute or two before this really kicks into gear. And he's going to have a lot of these infestors out. He's going to have a big flood of roaches, I imagine, coming on out in the near future. It's really just going to be a question, how narrow was this timing window for Elazer just flood out all of his own stuff to deal with what Hellraiser's doing?
It's going to be a fun one because Elazer has no real choice of being out on the map right now. Like, he literally only has queens that shoot up. I mean, he's going to have fungal available, which is, speaking of fungal available, that is a pretty nice fungal there. And, only gets a chain on one of those Phoenix. That's unfortunate for him, but that is good for Hellraiser that he gets to see the transition without really paying the price for it.
Yeah, what's also kind of fun about this situation is there is a potential for the big neural parasites on the Archons, because if you look at what Hellraiser's army composition is going to be, it's going to be, of course, yes, all of the Phoenix and everything that are going to be trying to find additional damage. But if the Infestors get neural parasite on the Archons, it's primarily just charge lots complementing them. And the Archons will murder all of those charge lots if they're given even just a couple of whacks away at them. So I think there's going to be some really interesting micro potential coming up in this next couple of fights.
Definitely is. I love everything that I'm seeing on the production tab from Elazer, though. Like 7 spine crawlers at once. He's going up to an Ultralisk Cavern as well. He's dodging the stasis wards and what have you. Oh, that poor Oracle right on top of a spore crawler there. But look at Hellraiser. He's doing what we talked about a few minutes ago. Lots of Zealots and Archons.
Yep, this is going to be that really nice composition, but I love the way that he's also splitting them up, getting a hatchery snipe over here. It's going to lose quite a few Zealots as he very aggressively charges the natural, but it's to try and open up the pathway for this to be a little bit more successful. Look at the number of queens and infestors over here, though. Fungal growth coming out on some of the Phoenix, and a vast majority of them actually end up falling over there.
Yeah, he tried to get dealing with the infestors by the looks of it with them, but so far, look at that resources lost tab. That is not what you want to be seeing if you're a Protoss player. Kind of trying to do some funky all-in, and he lost so many Phoenix, and he's remaking them as well. Oh, mate, this feels a bit hopeless.
This is not a good spot, I think, for Hellraiser to be in. I feel like Elazer has just been given a lot of space to kind of get up into his big macro late game situation, and Hellraiser was so well geared up for a hyper powerful mid game army. Well, we have Ultras that are going to be coming out soon, which actually do quite well versus Charge Lots and Archons. We have fungal growths on the few remaining Phoenix. Only one of them is even going to get recalled out of here, and with just the queen count over here for Elazer, I mean, he can continue to transfuse any of these Ultras that he decides to fight with for days. It's actually, I guess the one weird thing that is going to happen over here is that as Hellraiser does possibly one of the largest charge lot run-bys I have seen in a very long time. I was going to say, I don't think Elazer can really attack until he gets the creep spread going further forward, just because so much of his supply is queens.
You know what's actually funny? I didn't even realize. Hellraiser's at 94 probes against 76 drones. I'm going to count how many gateways. Wow. He's on 12 gateways. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts throwing down more gateways with the amount of probes that he has, and yeah, that's exactly what he starts doing here. And he's going up to 6 bases here.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I really like that part of this decision. And well, nice snag on the Ultras. I mean, Charge Lot's not normally able to trade versus Ultras, but I mean, at least be able to snipe off one of them since there were just so many fully surrounded over there, and the Stalkers will help out as well. But yeah, I kind of feel like it goes back a little bit to what I was saying, though, Ben. Imagine Elazer attacking, but he has 17 queens worth of supply missing from his army. He's at 124 supply, sure, but 17 queens, like, his army will just straight up be a lot smaller. He needs to spread creep in order to get close enough to the bases if he actually ever wants to get aggressive.
certainly does. I mean, Hellraiser, his play, going for the Phoenix and stuff, kept Elazer at bay. He couldn't move out. And behind it, he was like, you know what? I'm going to be the greediest Protoss of all time, which is working out for him. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble the longer this game goes on, because his army does get countered by a lot of stuff that Zerg can make, and Elazer has the bank available, and he's going to start slowing down the Protoss player as well with these weird Roach Tunneling Claw run-bys.
Yeah, able to snap off a couple of workers. Nothing so severe, though, that I would say Hellraiser is actually probably bothered by this. In fact, it probably frees up supply likely needed, actually, to help warp in and deal with some of these run-bys. This run-by has definitely been the most successful of all of them so far, even with the shield battery overcharge. A lot of more workers are going down, but I think even just trading versus some of these units is kind of nice. At the end of the day, though, man, I think it's going to be so interesting to see when Elazer actually feels like he can attack, because he's clearly trying to do something, but I just feel like I keep coming back to this, Ben. I don't know how he can take the fight unless he gets all of his queens involved in the fight.
Actually, Ravi, I think at some point, if he just goes mass ultra baneling, he just stomps the fight immediately. You
think so?
Yeah. I can't see Hellraiser's army doing much against that. Like, Archons are great, but there's one Immortal out in the field for ultras. I think he needs some super tech going on, because this is going to be like, we're getting to a point where it's going to be 3-3 ultras, a lot of them. The Baneliness is coming down now, so I think Elazer's feeling that as well. But hold on a minute, hold that thought. A lot of queens are fighting here on creep, and those big ultra boys, Rabbit, I don't think there's anything you can do against that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with it in this situation, especially where it really is trying to fight on creep with all the queens and everything else over there. But Thunderbolt's coming down, gonna lock down these stalkers, cannot blink away. The Ultras fighting kind of on their own, though, against the stalkers. That is not exactly the kind of fight that Elazer wants to take. The fungal growths are great, but now we end up seeing stalkers blinking on forward. They're sniping off bases on the north side, and well, if they're not getting fungal growth, I actually don't think these trades are terrible, but as soon as those start coming in, actually, hold on, charge lot reinforcements, all the queens are going to go down. This is actually kind of a nice trade here for Hellraiser.
It definitely is. And supply-wise, it's obviously not the best for Hellraiser, and his pro count isn't as healthy as it once was. It's just, I'm looking at that production tab, man. I saw 15 Stalkers being walked in, but I also see 9 Ultras on the way and nothing but Lings.
Yeah, that part's going to be tough to deal with, Ben. I think in this situation, if he had been using the double robo to like make a couple of Immortals as part of the remax, even if he was able to just get out like 4 Immortals for the next big fight, I think that could have been holding like a lot of potential for him, alongside all the Stalkers and the charge lot that he was warping in, just buffering so that the Immortals can get the damage done. But this is going to look really, really tough. I think the one big advantage Hellraiser maybe has is he's doing a good job of splitting up his army. I think the Stalkers are really complicating things for Elazer in terms of just keeping his base count alive, because both these players lost their banks.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, Hellraiser's actually microing really well. Oh, he tried to burrow under an observer. Big Baneling connections, taking out a probe line there. Hellraiser's actually kind of running in Ultras 1 by 1 into these Stalker armies, which is absolutely not doing well for him. But I think he's weathered the storm now. Like, these massive waves of Hellraiser aren't going to be lasting much longer.
Yeah. I don't know, though, Ben. Like, okay, if Hellraiser knocks out that top left-hand hatchery that's not mining just yet, I look at Elazer's economy. He's got 3 mineral patches at his 3rd and, 5 or 6 mineral patches left at his 4th? He really needs a new base, and I think he's been having a hard time establishing that. Meanwhile, Hellraiser, I mean, he's not exactly on so much better of an economy, but at least he has like a slightly fresher base. I think he has the potential to actually take another base as well.
Still close. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought that fungal landed. I really like Hellraiser's style. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of it just kind of clicks together. It's so annoying to play against. And holy crap, that is so 37 Stalkers on the field.
That is a lot. I mean, just really capitalizing on hyper mobility in this game. Hellraiser gonna need some hyper mobility to also defend, because these Ling run-bys are actually going to be extremely problematic. A lot more of his workers are going to go down, and he's been having to use a lot of his minerals just to actually clean or remake a lot of the trophies from losing. Oh, the fungal growths. Oh, that one hurts. That one really hurts.
Oh, that one bleeds really badly. And, you know, these fungal growths have been landing pretty decently. I mean, Hellraiser's done a phenomenal job of dodging them for the most part, but now they have 3 Ultra and Ling. And trying to keep up with this, as soon as you lose momentum, that's it. Bases start dropping like flies, and Elazer, oh my goodness, what a blink.
Yeah, a very aggressive blink forward, but the Infestors were far enough back that I think it's actually okay. Lifts up the Infestors with the Phoenix as well. Love that move. He's going to be able to pick off every single one of the Infestors. No more Fungals available anymore. It's just the 3 Ultras and the 51 Lings now. And these Lings are going to get cleaned up before they can snipe off the Nexus. So Hellraiser can transfer a few workers over to that base. And I feel like Hellraiser is so close to making this work, but he needs to shut down the freshest base, I think, from Elazer in the top left. I don't think he knows about it, is the problem.
He's super close to making it work, Ravi, like so damn close. If Elazer takes one more bad fight against this, where, you know, a few Ultras are just caught out of position, but I think Elazer's finally getting ready to just collapse on this from multiple sides, which is what he needs, but he can't go at it by trickling in Ultras one by one, which is what he's been doing.
Another Queen gets sniped on off. Ultras and Lings trying to charge on forward. The Stalker's blinking out. There's no Infestors to lock them down anymore with the Fungals, but Creep Spread making this fight a little bit better. Oh my god, Elazer coming in with the flanking Infestors that are fresh out of the hatchery. The big Fungals, the Ultras able to lock everything down, and GG gets